Hello guys, in this video I'm going to show you how to implement Azure point-to-site VPN connection. So if you want to know more details about what is Azure point-to-site VPN connection, so I will suggest you to go and read this official documentation about point-to-site VPN. All right, so this is the official Microsoft website, so you can read about this topic. But in short, so what can we say about point-to-site VPN connection? All right. It's a private connection between your laptop and your network on Azure. In this scenario, you don't want any external person and external so you don't want external people to reach your network, to access your network, maybe because you have very important data, confidential data, so you want to keep them really safe, and you just want people that are allowed, that are authorized to access that data. So then you need to use, for example, a private connection, a VPN, a point-to-site VPN connection. So as you can see here, we have a virtual network on Azure. So this virtual network, VNet1, and in this virtual network we have a subnet 1, and then we have a virtual machine. This virtual machine has a private IP, meaning that the virtual machine can't be reached through internet. All right, so there is no public IP, and you cannot normally access this virtual machine outside this virtual network. All right, that's where this topic come into the picture, because we need a kind of tunnel. So normally we cannot reach the virtual machine, but we can create a tunnel, a private connection that will allow us to reach the machine. All right, and how can we do that? So we can do that through a virtual network gateway. And in order to create a virtual network gateway, as you can see here, according to Azure, you need to create a dedicated subnet, which I have created here, and the name should be Gateway Subnet. So you cannot create, another subnet and give it any name you want. So no, this is a dedicated subnet, and the subname will be set automatically by Azure. All right, so and then in this network we need this subnet, we can create a virtual network gateway. Then after that, we need a kind of authentication mechanism to make sure only people that are allowed can access our network. So for that, there are there are multiple ways to authenticate, but in this video we're gonna choose the authentication through a certificate. For that, we need a root certificate on Azure side, and then on your laptop you need a client certificate. So the client certificate will behave like a private key, and then the root certificate will behave like a public key. Then with both, we can then make sure that, okay, only people that are allowed can access our network. Also, we need to define, as you can see here, pool address range. So this will allow, for example, any laptop that will connect to our network to be allocated an IP on this range of IPs. All right. So, and then this your laptop can communicate with our virtual network through this IP. That's that's why I call it VPN IP. So normally your laptop has its own private IP. In this case, for example, my laptop has this private IP, and then after authentication, when the connection is set, then my laptop will will obtain another IP, which is this one. Okay, this IP is in the first IP in this range. All right, but it can be allocated another IP as well. All right. So, and here we will be creating then a tunnel, and we can use many protocol for the tunnel, as we can see here in the official documentation. What protocol does point-to-site use? So we have three protocol: Open VPN protocol, Secure Socket Tunneling protocol, and then IKEV2 VPN protocol as well. So in our case, we're gonna use the second one, which is SSTP, that we're gonna use in this demo. All right, so let's go back. Just to save some time, I have already created the virtual network VNet1, also the subnet1, also the gateway subnet, and I have also created the virtual network gateway here. Yeah, so because especially for the virtual network gateway, it can take up to 40 minutes to be created. So that's why I have already created these resources, and then I'm just going to show you how then you can set up the connection. So first of all, we're gonna generate the root certificate and the client certificate, and also we can set this pool address range. We have to download the VPN client, because you need a VPN client in order to communicate with your virtual network gateway. Okay, and also yeah, that's all. Let's go to Azure portal to see what do we have. Yeah, this is, as you can see, this is the virtual network gateway. I have called it AZ VPN gateway. And as you can see, yeah, here at the point-to-site connection, we don't have any connections. Yes, so then we'll configure that connection. Okay, before that, I can also show you that, okay, here we have one VNet virtual network, which is VNet1, and if we click here, we can see subnet. We have two subnet, the subnet one and the gateway subnet. Okay, and with this IP range, as you can see. Great. Now What else? So we can see that we have one virtual machine, which is VM1 as in our diagram. If we go to that VM, okay, normally in the diagram I said that okay, the virtual machine just had a private IP. Indeed, for example, in our case, we don't want the virtual machine to have a public IP because we don't want it to be accessed by anybody. All right, so just a private IP. But in my case, we also have a public IP and a private IP. So I use this public IP because I just wanted to make some settings inside the virtual machine to allow the ICMP echo request, so to be able to ping the machine. As you may know, for the Windows machine, by default, when you create a Windows machine, the firewall, especially a Windows Defender, by default doesn't allow you to ping the machine, so you have to create an inbound, to enable an inbound rule related to ICMP echo request. That's why I wanted to have that public IP so I can connect to the machine and allow this echo request allow the machine to receive the ping. Okay, but otherwise we don't really need a public IP because we just want the machine to be accessed through a private connection, which is the VPN connection that we are going to implement. Okay, that's it. Now let's go to our on-prem laptop. So here, as you can see, I am logged into my machine. This is the IP of the machine. Okay, and now first of all, what do we need? Now we need to generate the root certificate. Okay, as per our diagram. For that, we need to go to the official documentation. As you can see here, generate and export certificate for point to site using PowerShell. Okay, first of all, we need to create a self-signed root certificate. So just copy this and run it on PowerShell. Then it will create a root certificate with this name. And then we're gonna do the same with the client certificate. We can run this script or command. Then it will create the client certificate. So I have already copied these two commands, one for the root certificate and the second one for the client certificate. So what I'm going to do is, okay, first of all, I need to run the command to generate the root certificate. Here it's run the script. We just want to run the selection. Okay, it's done. Now, if I want to check the root certificate, just go to cert mdr. Okay, I have a typo here. Okay. Dr. All right, now we come here, certificate current user, then we go to personal and then certificate. As you can see, this is the root certificate we just created. Yeah, okay. So this is the point2 site root set. Okay, now let's now create the client certificate. Okay, run, done. We can check again as well, so just refresh here, refresh. Okay, as you can see, we have both of them. Great. Now what do we need? We need to export them. This is for the root. Click all task, export, next. As I already explained, for the root certificate will behave like a public. So then we know we do not export the private key, so because it will be a public. Next, let's use this one. Next, we can browse. I have created in the desktop, yeah, this folder. Okay, and then here let's call it Azure, because we will just export it to Azure. Okay, I'm just okay, Azure. Great. Save, next, and finish. Great, we have exported it successfully. Now let's do the same with the client. All tasks, export. This time we will be exporting the private. Yes, export the private key. Okay, next. Okay, we will be using a password to make sure that especially this is a private key, so then we really need to make it secure. Nobody can use it except the one who has created and exported this certificate. Okay, I have already my password here for this one. Let's take this one. Okay, copy, come back, paste, next. The same, let's browse and go to set. Yeah, I have set here. Now let's call it client. Okay, and save, next, finish, done. Okay, we can close this one. So if now we check here, we see we have Azure for the root certificate and client for the client certificate. Now what do I need? I need to I will need this key, which is the public key. So open, we're gonna open this with the notepad, yes, and then here we can copy the key because we will need it on Azure side. Let's copy it, copy. Now go back to Azure, what is, okay, this is our point2 site configuration. So let's configure, and the pool for the type of tunnel, as I explained, we have these options that for us we're gonna use this one. For the type authentication tab, we have Azure certificate and both two more, so we're gonna choose this one for the certificate. Then we call here Azure, and then I can paste the value here I just copied. Okay, that's great. And for the pool here, you remember it's 172.160.100.0/24. Okay, now we can save it. All right, let's save it. So we have also configure this pool address range. And we have our client certificate, we have our root certificate, and we need also to install the client certificate. Okay, we have exported the root certificate on the Azure side. Now we need to install this client certificate. All right, let's go back here. Okay, I think we can delete, we don't need it anymore. And for the client, let's install it here. Okay, current user, yeah, next. Yeah, next. For the password, okay, remember we have this password, copy, and now this one. Okay, then next, finish. Yes, great, this is done. Okay, let's check for the okay, as you can see now, we can download the VPN client, because here we have our client certificate. Now we have our virtual network gateway, we have also the root certificate, and we have set also the pool address range here. Now the only thing left is the VPN client, so we can download the VPN client from here, and then we can install it on the laptop, and then we can establish the connection. Okay, all right, let's then install it, and then it will take some time before downloaded, and then I will see you later. All right, great.